Hello friends, welcome back to another video from Shomu's Biology. In this video we are going to talk about mucormycosis or black fungal disease, which is happening rarely right now after COVID recovery in few patients. So if you want to know more about this mucormycosis, or which is also known as a zygomycosis, then stay tuned and watch this lecture. The first thing is that what is mucormycosis or zygomycosis? Earlier it was termed as zygomycosis, now it is termed as mucormycosis. It is a fungal disease. Okay, disease can be caused by many different disease causative agents. For example, the COVID-19 disease is caused by SARS-CoV-2. That is the virus name. So disease can be caused by a virus, it can be caused by bacteria, it can be caused by fungus, right? So here in this case, this disease, mucormycosis, is caused by a fungus, and particularly the example of fungus that they cause is Rhizopus species, and we also have another example, that is mucor species, or we have rhizomucor species. So these are the different example or name of the species of the fungi that actually causes the mucormycosis. Based on the name of mucor species, we call it mucormycosis. Okay. Now the question is, where do these fungi are present, right? So to understand that, is that normally fungi is present in the soil. This mucor species or rhizomucor species or rhizopus species, they are all present in the soil, and they are also present in the decaying matter. That means, normally fungus eats the decaying matter. They are known as the decomposers. Bacteria and fungi both are known as the decomposers of environment. So they are playing a very vital role, that after the death of the living organisms like plants or animals, they feast on these dead bodies and they take all the nutrients back from them and put it into the soil, and they play a vital role here, and here they play a vital role in the circulation of nutrients through the environment. That is really important. Okay, so this fungi, they can cause infection, they can cause disease. Now they can cause different types of disease because they can attack different location of the body, different tissue of your body, and based on where they attack, they cause different type of disease. Now normally this disease is not that common, it's very rare, okay, because our immune system is very good at protecting us against this kind of fungi. Normally we are exposed to trillion and trillions of virus, bacteria and fungi all the time, but our immune system is so good that it keeps us healthy. But what happens after COVID-19, after the novel coronavirus infection, the immunity gets hampered, and what happens is that the body becomes very weak, and once the body becomes very weak, then our immune system drops. As a result of the less efficiency of immune system, these diseases can start to show its effect. Now normally this mucormycosis, this rhizopus species or mucor species, they produces what is known as spores. Okay, spores. Now what is spore? Spore are this encapsulated component of this fungi which are being protected against or from the different environmental conditions like heat or temperature and any other dryness. The spores prevent this fungi cells against these environmental conditions. So that's why the spores are very stable, they can stay much longer without much of a change in damage. Okay, so if we inhale that spore can go inside of our body, and then the spore converted into a vegetative cell, a cell that can grow. So the fungi can grow in our body and start to utilize our body tissue as their home, and they start feasting on our living body tissue. Normally the fungi must feast on the dead, but here they are considering those tissues as idle, so they are feasting our living tissue as a dead organism. So that is why it's dangerous. That's why those horrible pictures are there if you search this in the internet. But the thing is, it's very rare and it's not spread. They don't spread from a person to person or animal to person like that. The thing is that you can only incur it from the soil or any dead component, or sometimes in the air as well, because the spore can spread throughout the air. So after COVID recovery, if you don't follow proper routine, if you don't follow proper immune boosting effects, which is related to a detailed diet and exercises and all the other things, then sometimes what may happen that if you are exposed to this spore somehow, it's very rare though, but if you are exposed to this spore, then you get this spore in your body, and if your immune system is weak, it will impact. But the problem is that this is deadly. This virus is rare. Let me write, this is rare, but this is deadly. How much deadly we are talking about? The death rate by this virus is approximately 54%. 54% death rate, which is much greater than COVID-19 disease. Okay, so as I said always earlier that the COVID-19 disease, the virus is not directly causing that much of harm, but as a result of this infection, the body remains so weak, so vulnerable that opportunistic pathogens and other pathogens like this fungus, they start to attack your body, and these are the secondary infections we're talking about. The secondary infections will take you down if you are not serious. That is why we call COVID's last phase as a long-term effect. Even after the coronavirus left your body, you still need to have a good health and healthier manner of eating and lifestyle so that you get rid of all these secondary infections. Now, this secondary infection may occur in different tissues of the body. It may occur in your nasal passage, nasal cavity, or sinus. It may occur in your sinus or brain. Then we call it as a rhinocerebral mucormycosis. If it occurs in the lungs, we call it pulmonary mucormycosis. If it targets the gastrointestinal system, stomach and intestine, then stomach, let me write stomach and intestine, then we call it gastrointestinal mucormycosis. If it attacks our skin, okay, skin of our body, it attacks the skin. Actually, most of these fungal infections, they attack the skin, different tissues, different skin tissues of our body in different locations. And if they attack skin, we call it cutaneous. Generally, they attack skin if there is any wound in the skin, particularly burn, after burning wound or surgery related wound, if that area is not properly cleaned, then not properly dressed. Then disseminated. Disseminated is a situation where this is present in the blood, where this mucormycosis, this disease, this fungus, mucor species here, or the rhizopus species or rhizomucor species found in your bloodstream, that is known as the disseminated form, and that is the most deadly form above all, compared to all of them. Now the question is, why we are so concerned about it? Because of course it's 54% death rate means almost 60%, take it 60%, like 40% will survive. Out of 100, 40 will survive, 60 will die. It's a big percentage, right? That is one thing to worry about. The second thing to worry about is that this is a fungal infection, and fungal infection has a very typical approach. The approach, any kind of fungal infection, that is, even small type of itching in your genital area, those are also fungal infections. Fungal infections are, they have particular feature. Let me tell you the feature. The feature number one they have is that they are systemic, that they can occur throughout your body in different locations of the body at different times. And the second thing is that they don't go away, they don't fade away that easily. You start taking medicines, they will fade away. You'll assume that yeah, they are gone. Stop the medicine, it will come by after a few months, and they take a longer period of time to be cured, okay, to get rid of a fungal infection. Bacterial infection are easy to cure. 5 days antibiotic treatment cure most of the bacterial infections, but a fungal infection takes months, even years to get rid of. That's why it makes mucormycosis a deadly disease. Now let me talk about the different symptoms of mucormycosis disease now. Rhinocerebral, which is present in normally in the nasal cavity, sinus, and in the brain. So if it's present in those locations, then what you have fever, you will have weakness, fatigue. Those problems you will face. If you have this in the pulmonary condition, in your lungs, then you have difficulty breathing, you will have chest pain, and you will also have fatigue and vomiting. If it's in the gastrointestinal phase, in the stomach, then obviously vomiting, and again weakness is associated, fever is associated with pulmonary and rhinocerebral. Cutaneous is if it's done in the skin, then what will happen? In the skin also you will find burning sensation, the skin color will be black, skin start to decay. That means the fungus start to utilize the skin as its home, so they start taking nutrients from your skin. And disseminated is very difficult to find out, because disseminated is a situation generally happen to those people whose body is totally being compromised in many different ways, many different other diseases. And in rhinocerebral it's most easy to diagnose, because in rhinocerebral kind you will see black spots upper jaw. If you open your mouth in the upper side, upper bridge, you will see black, dark black spots, and one side of the face will swell up. So this is the common one, and this is also the common one. These two are the common one, most common one, and these two are the ones which are associated with the COVID-19, post-COVID-19 recovery period. But these three also possible. Cutaneous is very common when there is a burn in the skin involved. Disseminated generally occurs generally after organ transplant, because a new organ from outside is being transplanted. So that organ tissue is vulnerable for a time, because your body need to recognize it, and to get it as an organ and connect with that organ takes some time. During that time, that organ tissue can be used by this fungus, and the fungus start colonizing there, and they form. This black spot means actually colony. Normally what we see when we culture this fungi in a petri plate, we have this petri plate, we put their food and we want to see how they grow. So we'll see small spots in the petri plate, in the medium. So these are known as colony. We call them colony. So this colony here, in case they are making your mouth, your skin as this medium, and they are building their colony. It looks like black spots, and it will swell up that area. Now the next thing is how to diagnose, how to know whether it's mucormycosis or not. Now if it is a rhinocerebral mucormycosis, then it can be easily found out because it can be visualized, right? With a torch, with pharyngoscope, we can easily see that. Other than that, what we can do is that a CT scan of your brain can reveal it. If it's pulmonary one, then we can take a fluid from the lungs or a tissue from the lung, do the biopsy and look into the tissue under the microscope to see the presence of mucormycosis, because mucor is clearly visible. It has a clear structure. It looks something like this. It looks something like this kind of shape. Okay, this kind of shape. You will see this kind of bend and a head like structure like this. So this kind of shape you will see. So under microscope we will see this mucor, and we can comment on that, and we can also culture this fungus to find out the correct identification. If it's cutaneous, also we can visualize it from outside. If it's disseminated, it's also difficult to find out in disseminated condition, but we need to take the blood and we need to also culture that in terms of finding mucormycosis. Now the thing is, disseminated is very rare because it's related to organ transplant, while rhinocerebral pulmonary are common because they are linked with two things, two more important things. One is the high blood glucose level, persons with high blood glucose level, and the second thing is that age, high age and person with high blood glucose level. These two are the elevatory factors that can elevate the chance of getting this mucormycosis infection after COVID-19 recovery. That is what you need to keep in your mind. Okay, make this very clear. So if you are young and if you stay healthy even after the COVID-19 recovery, it's recommended to all of you to maintain a good lifestyle after COVID-19 recovery in order to get rid of these infections. And one more request, that right now in India it's summer time and many people are using coolers. So the coolers are not good, coolers are not healthy. The reason is that the water is moving through that vent, so that it gets the cool air out, moist, right? So moisture is there. That vent is actually almost what I can say, a medium for multiple bacteria, fungus and viral growth. So if you just recovered after this just recovered from COVID-19 disease, I will definitely not recommend you to use a cooler. Do not use a cooler for this summer. Okay, use normal fan, it's fine. Okay, and try to get a dehumidifier if it's possible, to get as less humidity as possible. Generally in India there are a few places with high humidity like Kolkata, Mumbai, huge humidity, but there are places with less humidity as well. So the places with less humidity will not be a problem, but do not use cooler. Use AC is fine, but clean AC filter once a while, every week or every month, to get it checked. Otherwise this may cause problem. If you have any air purifier in your home, that may save you after COVID recovery period. Instead of, I know many people are buying oxygen cylinders and oxygen concentrators, and most of them will be junk, they are of no use, but buying a good air purifier might help you, because that might help you to get rid of these pollens and denders and all this type of bacterial spores as well as this fungal spores. to be separated from the air. So you can get it post recovery, and the price is also 3,000 to 6,000 rupees. So this will prevent you to get rid of all these things. And make sure very clearly, once you have this, you immediately identify it and start the treatment. Okay, now let's talk about the treatment. Now what about the treatment procedure? The thing is that there is a risk factor. As I said, the risk factor is maximum for disseminated, almost 90% above. So 98% death rate for disseminated type, and there will be like 40 to 60% death rate varying from rhinocerebral, pulmonary, gastrointestinal and cutaneous type. Cutaneous has least death rates there. These two are 40 to 50% death rate. Now the thing is that in this case we need to use specific antifungal drugs, and antifungal drugs in this case uses amphotericin B, amphotericin B. Okay, apart from that, isavuconazole, azole are the type of group of drugs that are actually used against any kind of fungal infection. So isavuconazole is the type of drug, and amphotericin B is the type of drug. Some example, there are other drugs also, but these are the drugs that we predominantly use. Now the most common type of antifungal drug are like fluconazole, ketoconazole, but those drugs are not capable of killing this fungus. Okay, so remember this in your mind. We need to take specific antifungals in order to destroy this fungus. Now the thing is that this fungi, this growth of the fungi is fast, and they stay in your body in such a way that taking the medicines orally will not help. So if you have this mucormycosis infection, you need to get hospitalized, because you need to provide it with this antifungal drugs IV intravenous, and then only you can fight against it. And in many occasions, in fact in most of the occasions, if this mucormycosis spread, okay, little big, spread little more, then you cannot kill them with this antifungal drugs even. The only thing left there is to cleave that tissue out of the body. So you need to simply take that tissue, cut that tissue out of the body. If it is done in any portion of your body, you need to just cut that tissue out of the body, get rid of it. Otherwise you cannot get rid of this. That's why it's really dangerous. So again, I'm not here to get to put fear in your mind, but to educate you about the fact that if you get yourself protected, if you breathe fresh air, if you get rid of any sort of dust and other things, if you have a recent wound after COVID-19 and all, get a good dressing and all. So those things need to be done. And the most important factor is that this fungus will only attack the people who has weak immune system due to any reason. So get your immune system strong enough to fight against those fungus, because that is the best way. The prevention is better than cure, and in this case with 54% death rate, of course prevention is better than cure. So get your immune system in good track, in good hands, then you will be prevented from any other diseases. So that's all about mucormycosis and the black fungal death. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, subscribe to this channel to get more videos like this in future. And I got this information from CDC's site, so you can watch the CDC site for mucormycosis information. That's all. Thank you. Bye.